So get your paper, and I would turn it like landscape mode instead of portrait mode, okay? And I'm going to start off drawing just some really basic shapes, and then I'm going to put more detail in. So the lines that I draw at the beginning, I'm going to put kind of light, and you can draw them even lighter than I am on your paper. So first of all, we're going to kind of sketch in the line for where we want our swan to sit on the water, okay? And then once we have that, we're going to draw a nice little curve here and kind of get an idea of how we want that neck to come up. So nice little graceful curve, and then it's going to turn suddenly. I'm just kind of getting this sketched in here, and then I'll make some kind of a nice rounded shape here, and then a little pointed shape out the back, okay? So this is our basic swan shape. It's not looking very realistic yet, but we still have some time to work with it. So get your basic swan shape in there. When I'm looking at this photograph of the swan, I kind of noticed that I didn't make the nose quite long enough, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit. So you can always make a few little minor adjustments as you go. That's why you draw it lightly, so you can make those adjustments. Okay, so another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of draw in the shape that I want for this wing back here. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little sketching here. Those are just some guidelines for me for later. What I'm going to do now is make the beak more interesting. You know how the beak has that black section on it? No. I'm going to draw that black section right now. So it's going to start right about here. It's going to come back, and then it's going to come back down. So then we'll draw in kind of a division right there, and then a little black spot right here. So this part right here is actually going to be dark. If you want to go ahead and shade it in, you sure can. And if you look at it closely, it even has kind of a dark end on its beak, so you can shade that in too. And this part of their beak, of course, is orange, so if you're doing a black and white drawing, you could just shade that in a light gray. If you're trying to make it with color, then you could go ahead and color that in orange. And then we've got kind of a little shadow right there if you want to add that. And then we're going to bring this line down. It's kind of, this part is kind of in shadow. If you want to add a little bit of shading to its head, you can. It's got kind of a shadow, and it certainly has a darker shadow right here along the neck where it curves around. So you can kind of do a little shading there if you want to. It's going to have contrast from here. Okay, now we wanted to kind of make this part look a little more realistic. And we know that this is a bird that has feathers, so we're going to just kind of make the back edge of this wing look a little bit feathery. Okay, and then in order to make it look even more swan-like, I'm going to erase this sketchy line that's here because I don't really need that anymore. But in order to make it look a little more swan-like, I'm going to draw in just the suggestion of some rows of feathers. So Just some light lines, not real dark at all. So, some kind of like that, just a little suggestion of some feathers. Don't make it too dark or it's going to look, it's going to take away from that idea of this beautiful white swan, because this is a white swan. You've also probably seen pictures of black swans, so if you wanted to, you could darken yours in more and make it into a black swan. I'm just going to draw in the suggestion of some feathers back here on this edge. And now here's where we're going to get a little creative with the shading. We've got some shadows that are taking place here where this tail is of our swan. This tail kind of comes back, you know, back here between his two wings that are lifted up, and just sort of shade that in right in there. And then we're going to add a little bit of shading just right along the bottom edge of this wing. Not a lot, just a little. A little bit of shading on the bottom side of this tail. So just kind of look for places to put a shadow. Right here behind your swan's neck, you might have a little shadow that's created by the neck. So when you feel like you have a basic swan that's looking pretty good, then the next thing that you need to do is create the environment for your swan. And I'm going to put the shadow on the water right underneath. And I'm kind of add a little shadow that would be happening on the water right underneath your swan, because your swan's just kind of hanging out on this water here. Just add a little shadow, and once you have your shadow in there the way you want it, you can start sketching in some water ripples. And as they get further away from you, they're going to get closer together and kind of smaller. So, further away, smaller, closer together. Up close, they're going to be bigger and further apart. So, and you can decide, maybe this is a pond or something, and you can see like the other side of the pond over here, and there's things happening on this side. Or if it's just water as far as you can see, then draw your little water ripples. If there's something going on over here, then that's up to you to decide what's happening. Dennis, if you're happy with your drawing, put your signature on.